Hey folks, it's Nate. Guess what? We finally hit 500 subscribers! And I mean we in the me sense, because we is SWB QuickCast, and that's just me. So anyway, 500 subscribers! Happy Monday! Try to give you guys another QuickCast early this week, because it's Thanksgiving coming up, and I want to have this thing done and not have to worry about it come Turkey Day. If you're in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you're not, go eat some turkey anyway, unless you're a vegetarian, in which case, I guess, go eat whatever turkey substitute vegetarians eat. I'm not trying to be down on vegetarians. I honestly don't know. Should I know? Am I a bad person for not knowing? I don't think so. I like meat. So it's been a sort of eventful couple days since I last recorded. Thursday of last week here in Pennsylvania, we got hit with some snow, the first real snowfall of our season. It's not technically winter yet, but to me, when the snow comes, fall is over, and the snow's come. You can't see it through my windows, I'm sure, but there's snow everywhere. So my drive home on Thursday night, which is usually about an hour, as I've mentioned before, I've got a relatively long commute, was about 3.5 hours because people don't know how to drive in the snow. You'd think in a state like Pennsylvania, where we get so much snow over the winter, people would remember how to drive in the snow, but that doesn't seem to be the case. As soon as winter comes, they seem to have forgotten how, and, well, you end up with a 3.5 hour commute. Man, it was bad. People were trying to do stuff with their cars that their cars shouldn't have been doing. There were cars that shouldn't have been on the road. I just think it caught everybody off guard, even though we had days of warning that there was going to be snow. And really, I should have worked from home or something, because while I didn't have any real trouble getting home, the 3.5 hours on the road with a bunch of people that didn't seem to know how to drive was a bit unnerving. Luckily, I had Google Maps at my disposal. I fired that up as soon as I left work, and it rerouted me every time it figured out that there was an accident. The problem with mapping software that gives you directions, though, is it has no idea what the conditions are like. So Google was trying to send me down back roads that weren't even touched, and there were a couple cases where I just didn't have a choice, and that's the way I had to go. And I believe that I would have been stuck in traffic a whole lot longer if I had not had the ability to take back roads like I did. And by ability, I mean my own personal experience from driving both on and off road, and the fact that I was in a vehicle that was four-wheel drive. This Patriot, even though I'm trying to sell the thing, and I'd love to get rid of it, it is great in the snow. It just works. I mean, I only had one spot where I had any traction issues, and that was a combination of momentum and untreated roads. I won't go into too many details, but basically there was a hill I couldn't get up. I had to back down and try it 2 or 3 times. It wasn't even a particularly long hill. It's just that in the configuration that it was, I couldn't get any sort of run up to get some momentum, because it just the streets were not treated yet. They weren't plowed or anything. But yeah, otherwise this thing did really good. I was impressed. I mean, I've driven it in bad weather before, and it's always done really well. But yeah. So I'll miss that if it sells. But I'll be driving my Wrangler then. Honestly, I don't know what you guys think. Some people think that their Wrangler is the be-all, end-all snow vehicle. I disagree with that. Don't get me wrong, the Wrangler is a great vehicle, and it's great in the snow. But some refinements that you have in commuter vehicles like this Patriot, or the Compass, or even the Renegade, they are purpose-built to drive you on the pavement when it's inclement weather, where the Wrangler is purpose-built for off-road driving. Now, You might think off-road driving and snow driving are very similar, but they're not. I mean, they are, but they're not the same. On-road driving, so if I'm off-road and I lose traction, big deal. I might slide into a tree or something, but, I'm usually going like 2-3 miles an hour, or maybe under 10, that's for sure. It's just a different situation, and your tires for off-road generally are big knobby things, and you air them down and all that. And while those aren't necessarily bad in the snow, they're not necessarily great at speed in the snow. So generally, when you're driving on the road in the snow, you're going to be going 20 miles an hour, 15, 20, whatever, or higher, depending on the conditions. You need a tire that's not going to slip if you have to brake. And the anti-lock brake system that's on this Patriot and the traction control, traction control, they all help make all that work. And off-road, those are things that are less desirable. People don't like traction control off-road. People don't like the computer assisting them off-road, at least not in the Wrangler, it seems. So you have a very dumb four-wheel drive system in the Wrangler that depends a lot on the driver. You have a very smart four-wheel drive system in the Patriot that doesn't necessarily depend on the driver so much. And what you end up with is, if you have an experienced driver and a smart four-wheel drive system, you get a vehicle that's great in the snow. And that's what this thing is. And that's what I think most modern SUVs are. The Wrangler, hands down, is better off-road. I wouldn't even dream of taking this Patriot on more than a dirt road, because it just isn't built for it, where the Wrangler is. So, you can comment if you're wrong. I don't know what you think, but I don't think that the Wrangler is a great snow vehicle. I've talked about this before, now that I'm thinking about it, probably last winter. So you can look back at that. I think I called it something like, your Jeep sucks in the snow. Your off-roader sucks in the snow. I don't know. Anyway, my opinion has not changed. This thing is great in the snow. I don't know if it would have been the same ride home if I had the Wrangler last Thursday. Another thing happened since my last recording. You may remember I was a tad frustrated about how my phone kept interrupting my video for stupid reasons, and then it ended up running out of space, which was another annoying thing. All things that could have been resolved, but there were a few other things that had happened recently regarding my phone that had me a bit iffy about its quality. So I not only replaced my phone, but I've switched from Android to iPhone, which is something I swore I would never do. I may as well go buy a Prius, guys. That's what I feel like. Like I'm betraying all of my opinions by just switching devices. But I gotta say, it's been good. It's working well so far. I mean, obviously it's a brand new phone. Any brand new phone works great for the first year or so. So we'll see how it goes. I'm a little frustrated with the changes in the operating system and how they interact with me. The assumptions that Apple makes for me that Android didn't. Android would give you a choice, where Apple just picks for you. I don't know if that's going to be enough to make me switch back. To be honest, I like Android, and I'm going to try not to get too techie on you guys. I like Android, but I don't like some of the choices that Google has been making. And I feel like there's less of a divide between Android and iOS at this point. And Apple is producing a more stable device, a higher quality device. They also have a higher price tag, which is why I didn't buy a brand new iPhone X. I bought an iPhone 8, which are a year and a half or so old device. I'm hoping it's going to last me a while because, as I've said many times before, my goal currently is to dig myself out of debt, and buying an iPhone was not in that plan. But I just couldn't. I was so aggravated with that Android. I still feel bad that I spent the money, but whatever. We'll get through it. I've got enough. Well, I'm not going to go too deep into that. We'll just say that it's not the end of the world. It's not like I spent $10,000 on a car I shouldn't have bought or something. But whatever. Hopefully this gets me many years of good service. If I end up not being able to deal with it, it's not a waste of money because my wife loves iPhone and iPad and whatever's, and she's not quite due for a new phone, but I'm sure she wouldn't complain if I went back to my Android and gave her this one. So that's always in my back pocket. For the sake of keeping this video within a decent time limit, I'm not going to talk too much about old Jeep stories today. I am going to give you guys a recommendation on a new channel I've started following on YouTube. Okay, folks, this is your warning. For the next roughly 4 minutes, I'm going to be talking about a gun-related YouTube channel. If you don't like guns, please skip to the end of the video. Or maybe just stop the video, because after that I'm just going to have to close. So, I'll see you at the end. It's, so you guys know O3D Jeeps, overclock Jeeps. Chris Boulevard, CPO. He started a new channel, and he's not really been cross-promoting amongst his own channel, from what I can tell. But he and I mean, not together, but coincidentally, he and I both share a interest in firearms. Him, to a larger extent than me. He's got a lot more experience with it. He's got a law enforcement background and whatnot, so he's had a lot more firearms training than I have. I've been hunting and whatnot. I was trained by some of the hunting buddies my dad and I kept when I was younger were former Marines. So I'm not going to say that I'm a novice with firearms, but CPO's comfort level with firearms and knowledge definitely surpasses my own. I actually recorded him a little video to hopefully incorporate into one of his videos on his new channel. And I said something like, I felt like he and I were on sort of even footing in the Jeep realm, and he's way ahead of me in the gun realm. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to start a gun channel. I don't think there'd be any value for me in that. But I'm hoping to contribute to his channel as he makes that, makes it go. So we'll see if the video I sent him gets used, and if it's usable for that matter. One of the problems with gun videos is that they are best handled when the two people are nearby, because they can go to the range together, or they can have a conversation or whatever. So in this case, I submitted him a video, and I'm like 3 or 4 hours away from him, so I can't just drive down there and we can hang out and have a gun video. But that might be cool. Maybe it'll come someday. But anyway, my point is, you should go check out the channel. If you're offended by firearms or something, please don't go check out the channel and give him trouble. Just ignore that I said anything about guns. That's what normal people do. That's what adults do when they see something they don't like. As long as it's not hurting other people or somehow destroying the world, just ignore it, please. Sorry, it's one of the things that I work in higher ed, and I see this all the freaking time. Young people with high ideals trying to change the world to fit their worldview. It's just aggravating. Anyway, he's calling it Blastercraft. It was Guncraft, which is a pretty cool name, but I guess he found out that there was some trademark problem there. So he's calling it Blastercraft because, blasters, pew pew. And it's a pretty cool channel. He's got some good information out there already about concealed carry and about, he took his son out to the range and he was showing some techniques on how to train on different things. He did a review of a concealed carry holster. He did a review on how to review holsters, which was real coincidental. He did that before he did the holster video, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to interesting things coming out of that channel. I hope it doesn't mean that his Jeep channel is going to fall off and he's switched, but I do, because I enjoy his Jeep videos as well. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Go check out Blastercraft, unless you don't like guns, in which case you should just mute this video from about 4 minutes ago until now. Alright folks, I think we're going to call that it for today. Let me know if the video looks better on the new device that I'm recording on. I'm still thinking about getting a dedicated camera to put in the vehicle for when I record these things, like a GoPro or something. The phone has been working okay, but I just feel like a dedicated camera would be a better choice. So, yeah. At any rate, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and I will have a link in the video description to the channel which I was just talking about previously, CPO's new channel. Remember, if you like what I'm doing, please go support me on Patreon. I could use the extra income for the channel, as I've said before. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to record a little thing about my latest milestone. But for now, you have to go. You've probably already seen it. Wow, this video is all out of order. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks, guys.